Aloha and welcome to the Murph's Place 808 for the Love of Golf podcast. I am your host, Murph. I hope everybody's had a good week out there. It's been pretty nice here. The weather's starting to change a little bit though over here. It's coming into the winter months. It gets a little cooler. It's a little more overcast. So, but that's part of it. It's at least we're not having snow and we can still golf every day if we wanted to. Other than that, it's been good. I hope you guys have been good, staying safe, hopefully playing a lot of golf. This damn computer, it keeps beeping, and I can't figure it out. If anybody has any idea, Microsoft Surface Pro 7 Pro, it just randomly beeps, and it can be for any reason. There's no updates to be made on it. It could be plugged in, it could be unplugged. It just randomly will do this beep noise, this sound. So if you hear it, that's what it's doing, and I can't make it stop. Anyhow, let's get into the show. We had the VGA, Veterans Golfers Association. We had a tournament on Saturday, which was held at Waikele. I played pretty decent on the front. Let me finish. On the front, I shot 38, but on the back, I kind of messed up a little bit, shot 43, 4, and 81, so that wasn't too great. And I don't know if you guys, I've talked about this in the podcast before, but it just seems like I cannot get over, and I haven't been practicing like I should be, but I keep track of my stats as far as fairways and regulations, green and regulations, and the putts, how many putts. And I'm normally around 4 or 5 greens and regulations and maybe 8, 9, or 10 4 or 5 fairways in regulation and, 8, 9, 10 greens and regulations. And the putting, I'm usually in the 20s, but Saturday, I only had 5 fairways in regulation, 8 greens in regulations, and 31 putts. And the reason I keep track of those things are, and the numbers can be a little different because like when it's a fairway in regulation, there's sometimes that I'll just be off in the rough, just off the fairway. It's not like I hit it way right or way left all the time. I may be just off the fairway a little bit. So that could, it could be the slope of the fairway. Maybe it rolled down that way, or it may have hit in the fairway but then rolled out. But I keep track of those stats because those things, if I go to the range and I'm going to be working on my game, I'm going to work on those aspects. So, for example, if I'm not hitting fairways and regulations, on the driving range, I'll pick out 2 landmarks, or it could be 2 flags between the greens, and that's my fairway. And I work on hitting that into the fairway. Same with greens and regulations. I'll pick out a flag and I'll work on iron shots into the green, and on different different holes, so you have different lengths, and you're working on that. And obviously putting, it just comes down to putting, working out, practicing on the putting green and getting your putting stroke down. So there was no three-peat for me on the VGA tournament scene. Sunday was the FIA. I did not go and play, and there was some question as to whether the guys were going to play or not. I know they were expecting some rain, and some of them were, I think, not wanting to play in the rain. And I guess it was supposed to rain hard, according to our weatherman here, Guy Hoggy, who is not always right, and somebody brought that up in the discussion in the text messaging. So I know I saw a couple guys that said they were going to try to come and play, so I don't know if they had enough to play for the belt or not, but as far as I know, Joe P still has the belt, is retaining the belt for the FIA matches. Beach Boys Golf, we had our turkey shoot this week, meaning normally on a turkey shoot, you buy some turkeys and then whoever wins gets a turkey, but I kind of like how Steve does it. He added more money into the pools, into the low nets and the low gross and the club greenies. So the low nets each paid out $100. The low gross 35, and the club greenies 50. So depending on how many people we had, Steve threw in the extra money to bring the pots up to those amounts. And so Monday we played at Coalina, and Tuesday we played at Hawakale. I played pretty good at Coalina, ended up shooting 71, and I ended up doing pretty good. I ended up winning low net on the front, low net overall, low gross, and a greenie, I believe, and maybe, I think I had 4 skins, I think. So I ended up walking home, coming home with a lot of money that day. And I was hoping to carry that over into Hawakale because I thought, wow, I've been playing pretty good. I mean, my irons were pretty good. I mean, I was hitting a lot of green and regulations, and I didn't keep my scorecard to see what my greens and regulations were. I'm not even sure I kept my stats that day because we had so many different matches and I had so many different cards. So I think all I did was just keep my score in the match scores. But anyhow, I ended up winning the belt. I brought home the money belt that day, but it was short lived because on Tuesday we played Hawakale, and I did not play as well as I did on Monday. I ended up shooting 81 and lost the belt to Troy. And the only money I ended up winning that day was I had a chippy on one of the holes. So I had a couple of birdies, but they got cut by other people. So Dan played his irons. His second shots he was throwing darts in there. It was crazy how good he was hitting his irons. And the bad thing is, I mean, Dan is normally a really good putter, and for some reason, he could not make a putt to save his life. He missed probably, I'm going to say 4 or 5 birdie putts, but his second shots, man, he was just throwing darts in there. And he even mentioned something about, he had to work on his putting. His wife is getting into golf, so she's been going to the range a lot, and he's been going with her and hitting balls, but not really working so much on his short game. He even said that he hopes that she wants to go to the putting green and work on putting because he needs to work on that. But normally he's a good putter, and he'll get it back. He's a good enough player that he can get it worked out and get it straightened out. Next week, Monday, is Coral Creek for the Beach Boys. And like I said in the past, if you guys want to come out and play with us, even if it's just to come out and try it out, I know we've got one former member that's going to probably be joining again, and then we have one candidate that came to Hawakale and played with us, and he's more than likely going to join. It is towards the end of the year. December is obviously, we start back up in January. I mean, we still play all the way up to when we start the new season, but it's not really worth joining right now for just a month. Wait until January to join. But if you want to come out and try it out and play with us, then please get a hold of us. Go to beachboysgolfclub.org. It's our website. There's a section there you can contact us and shoot me an email, and I'll get back to you and let you know. There's also the schedule is on there that where we're going to be playing each week. So you can go to that the schedule tab and look and see where we're going to be playing and decide if you want to come out and play with us. But just get in contact with us and let us know so we make sure we have room for you. Normally it's up on the Discord server. We put, or not on the Discord, on the GroupMe app. We'll put the times and guys will confirm whether they're going to be there or not so we can make sure we have enough tee times for everybody. But it's a good time, and like I said, just let us know if you want to come out and play, and we'd love to have you guys. Also, it's only $60 to join for the year. Normally we have a Christmas party, but for the last couple of years, there's been some people that have not really wanted to do the Christmas party, and what we'll do is we'll instead pay for green fees in December at one of the club play days. So that's been going good too. I would probably prefer to do that anyhow. At Christmas time, everybody's busy, and it's hard to pick a date and make sure that everybody's available to come and do the Christmas party on that day. So anyhow, let's take a short break, and I'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everybody. PGA news. We just had the Hewlett-Packard Enterprise Open. Jason Kokrak was your winner of that tournament. His third win on the PGA Tour. He shot 10 under for the tournament, which, when you 10 under is really good, but when you see some of these other scores, 20 under and 24 under and stuff like that, it's just amazing how good these guys are. He ended up winning the tournament. Kevin Tway and Scotty Scheffler both came in tied for second at 8 under. Next up, this coming week, you've got the RSM Classic. That's in Sea Island, Georgia. Your defending champion in that tournament is Robert Streb. And the power rankings for that tournament, number one, they got a Georgia boy listed as number one as possible winning this tournament, Kevin Kisner. And he is the all-time earnings leader at Sea Island. So we'll see what happens there. Scotty Scheffler's listed as number 2, and he's tied for second 4 times in the last few tournaments. So, and number 3, Webb Simpson. Quick story about Webb Simpson. I was in a pool with some guys back in Ohio for the U.S. Open, and I don't know exactly what year it was, but we did a pool, and you got 2 picks, I believe, and one of my picks was Webb Simpson, and one of the guys was like, Webb Simpson, why are you picking him? I go, I'm telling you, the guy's a player. I think he's going to win this thing. And sure enough, Webb Simpson ends up winning it. So I end up with a good chunk of change from that little pool we did, but I like Webb Simpson. He's a good player. I like his attitude and how he plays. Obviously, Korn Ferry Tour, we haven't started. It's in January, so we have our Brent Grant, and I'm going to add Jared Sawada on the watch for those 2 guys. And like I said, Jared did not. He tried to qualify at Q School, and I don't know if he got any guaranteed starts, but I believe he's going to be able to go and Monday qualify to try to get in tournaments. Brent, obviously, he did not have to go to Q School. He finished 63rd, something like that, from last season. So he'll be good for this season. And so January, those tournaments start, and we'll keep an eye on those guys. Golf Magazine just came out, and every year they list their top 100 golf courses in the world. And I'm not going to go through all of them, but I will say I'll give you the top 10. Number 1 is Pine Valley in Pine Valley, New Jersey. It got an average score of 96. Number 2, Cypress Point, Pebble Beach, California. It got a average score of 93.17. Number 3 is St. Andrews, the Old Course in Scotland. It got an average score of 89.59. And number 4 was Shinnecock Hills, Southampton, New York. And its average score was 86.67. Number 5 was the National Golf Links of America in Southampton, New York. And it got a score of 86.59. The number 6 course, Royal County Down in Newcastle, North Ireland. And it got an average score of 84.46. Number 7 was Royal Melbourne West in Black Rock, Australia. Score of 82.81. Number 8 was Oakmont in Oakmont, Pennsylvania. Score of 80.42. Number 9, Augusta National, Augusta, Georgia, 79.24. Number 10 was Sand Hills in Mullen, Nebraska. The score is 76.86. So Augusta National in the top 10. That's good. Obviously, St. Andrews is going to be in the top 10. And it's kind of interesting. I didn't read the whole article on it, but if you go to golf.com, you can, I'm sure this article is online also. But they kind of explain and talk about the raters, how the people that rate the courses, and how, especially with the pandemic and stuff going on, it kind of gives you a little background about them rating the course. So anyhow, top 100. The majority of them were in the U.S. I want to say like 51 states or something like that. And that's kind of what it was like last year also. So, well, hey, I'm going to get out of here, guys. I hope everybody has had a good week. I hope everybody has a great week coming up. If you guys want me to talk about something or have any questions, please shoot me an email at merceplace808@gmail.com, and I'll get those taken care of. Also, if you want to either join the VGA or the Beach Boys Golf Club, like I said, please shoot us an email. You can even email me at merceplace808@gmail.com for either one of those, or you can go to the VGA website and look up there. You'll have to sign up there anyhow for that one. But the Beach Boys, I can take care of that for you guys. If you guys, like I said, have any questions or want me to discuss any certain topic, please shoot me an email. Also, any questions on rules questions, we can go over those also. I do got to bring up one thing, though. And you guys let me know what you think. And I'm going to put this question on the website, Anchor website, for the podcast. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are on this. So I saw something the other day, an article, I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was just a picture of a sign at a golf course. And what they did was they said, okay, if your handicap is 0 to 4.9, you play the back tees. If your handicap is this other certain one, like from 5 to 10, you play like the gold tees. Or the white tees, I'm sorry. And if your handicap is an 11 to 18 or whatever, you play the gold tees. And if your handicap is 20 plus, you play the forward tees, the red tees. And I thought that is a great idea. For one thing, it'll speed up pace of play, because if you got a guy that is a 20 handicap and he's like, oh, I'm going to play from the tips, or I'm going to play from the blues, it's going to be a long day. And I thought that was a great idea, not only for that reason, but it's also, it makes it a little fairer when you're playing for skins, or for, especially if they're handicap skins, but if you're playing for skins or closest to the pin on the par threes. The reason being is, I know some people that play from the forward tees that can shoot in the 70s from the white tees. And it makes it a disadvantage for some people. I think I would prefer, like in the VGA, it's broken down by your handicap. So as a 3, I have to play from the blue tees, which is no problem. I have no problem doing it. I'd prefer to play from the blue tees, actually. But there are guys that, because of their age, get to play from the forward tees, but they are good players and their handicaps are not high. And so I brought this up to Shep the other day about maybe thinking about doing that. But the VGA, it's a national VGA that decides their rules as far as the tees and that kind of stuff. But I just think that is a great idea, mainly because it speeds up pace of play. If you got a guy that is a 20 handicap and he's playing from the blue tees, it's going to be a slow day. But if they did the handicaps, if they did the tees based on your handicaps, I think that would greatly increase the pace of play, and everybody would have a much better time. And not only that, but a guy that's a 20 handicap and he has to play from the blues, and that's one of the things as far as the VGA. If you don't have a gin handicap, you have to play in the A flight, which plays the blue tees, no matter what your handicap is. So you could be a person that shoots in the hundreds, but until you get 3 tournaments in the VGA and get your handicap, you have to play from the blue tees. And I've played with guys that it's their first or second tournament and they're playing from the blue tees, and their skill level is not where it needs to be to play from the blue tees, and they don't have fun. And you may lose some people actually from playing because they don't want to have to play from back there. Now, we make sure we explain to them, look, after your third tournament, you'll get a handicap and you'll be put in the correct flight where you're supposed to be. And they kind of do that as far as when I'm talking about the tees and the handicaps. Your handicap is based on what tee you go to. It's just that some of the guys, the older guys, and don't get me wrong, I know there's some older guys that don't hit the ball very far, and they need that little extra yardage by moving up on the tees. But if you're a good enough player that you can shoot in the 70s from the white tees, there's no reason for you to have to be able to move up. It just makes no sense. But I mean, that's just the way it is. But I want to know what you guys think about that. Do you think that your tees that you play should be based on your handicap and not on your age? Or not only that, well, I shouldn't. I'm not even going to bring that part up, but I just think that you should. I can never see myself playing from the forward tees, ever. Now, well, I shouldn't say ever. Maybe when I'm 90 and I'm only hitting the ball 50 yards, 60 yards, that's different. But as long as I can play this game and play it at a decent level, even if the rules allow me to do it, I'm not going to do it because I don't need to. There's no need for it. There is a need for some people to do it, and there's not a need for others to do it. So anyhow, just let me know what you guys think. I'm going to put a poll question up on the website, and let me know what you guys think about that. And but anyhow, I digress. I hope everybody's has a good week this week coming up, and a good weekend, and watch some golf. And if you're not watching golf and you're playing golf, hit them straight, hit them long, but don't hit them very often. Aloha, everyone.